One of Britain's finest long-distance athletes of the late 1950s and 1960s, John Tarrant, ran multiple world records but was denied his full share of glory by the stubborn authorities who banned him from racing. Here is the story of John Tarrant's triumph and tragedy. A heavy gloom settled over Doncaster as crowds gathered for the half-marathon ending in Sheffield. The starting area was swarming with race stewards, many carrying a photo of the man they had been instructed to stop at all costs. Born in London in 1932 to parents John and Edna, Tarrant lived his early years in poverty, but they were loving nonetheless. His brother Vic arrived in 1935, and for a time, life progressed as childhood should. A stark setting at the best of times, life at Lumber Bay was intensified by the terror of the Blitz. It got worse for the Tarrant boys. 2 years later, their mother Edna died from tuberculosis. It wasn't until August 1947 that their father collected them. Recently remarried and with a newborn baby, he moved the family to Derbyshire town of Buxton on the edge of the Peak District. Various manual labour jobs came and went for Tarrant, and he usually discarded in search of more time to run. Even on their honeymoon after his marriage to Edith Light in 1953, Tarrant took along his training gear. Tarrant received London Brighton twice following the lifting of his ban. British athletics within the 50s was ruled in accordance with an ethical customary supposedly impressed by the historical Greeks, however, which sank of inequality and exclusion. 2 weeks later, a letter arrived returning his 6 shillings subscription price. He was acknowledgeable that he was now banned from novice athletics for all times, together with occasions such as the de facto British Championships and trial races for Olympic choice. He bombarded officers with replies, pleading his case, however, to no avail. Pushed by a burning sense of injustice, Tarrant and his brother Vic concocted a plan to register for the AAA races, which did not only enable him to compete but even spark a debate inside the media. In 1958, a letter lastly arrived from the AAA informing Tarrant that his ban has been overturned. Though precise reasoning was not given, the choice got here only 1 month after Harold Abraham, 100-meter gold medalist on the 1924 Paris Olympics and influential member of assorted athletics committees, wrote an article highlighting crude deficiencies within the case towards Tarrant. His dream of operating on the Olympics crushed. Tarrant nonetheless went on to dominate the home scene, establishing himself as among the finest long-distance runners in Britain. The 1960s noticed him win a blizzard of occasions, together with the London, the Brighton 54-mile race twice, the Liverpool, the Blackpool 48-mile race thrice, and the Exeter, the Plymouth 44-mile races 5 occasions. He set world information at 40 and 100 miles to go along with his territorial military 110-mile march document set in 1959. Tarrant additionally received the 1971 gold prime, enhancing his time by 3 minutes. However, critical issues have been rising. 6 weeks later, he suffered from an enormous hemorrhage and awoke, vomiting blood. By mid-60, he was struggling badly, alternating between strolling and slowly jogging. However, as he had accomplished time and time, once more Tarrant dug deep into what propelled him and battled on. Slowly the hole started to shrink till he was simply 2 laps behind Bentley. All of a sudden, the unthinkable appeared doable. In the long run, due to a late burst, Bentley completed 14 minutes forward of second-place Tarrant, who ended his final main race in an appalling situation. His lips blew, froth slipping from his mouth as he collapsed on the end line. Ultimately, his brother Vic, his steadfast rock all through the years, shepherded him right into a ready automotive, and the course runner disappeared perpetually. It was Tarrant's biggest race, mentioned race organizer Eddie Goodrich in John's e-book, The Coast Runner. 2 years later, Tarrant was lastly recognized with abdomen mass cancers. He died on 18 January 1975, aged simply 42.